School. You've either been through it, are still in it, or haven't been enrolled yet. If you're that last one, give her mom her phone back. So school. What is school exactly? Well, school is just a building that you go to have a bunch of meaningless information stuffed into your brain for you to puke out on a test for 12 to 13 years. But what is the point of that? Most of you would say, well, to get a degree and job. And you would be right. Except for the other part of school. I'm talking about the social part. Now, depending where you are in school, or if you've graduated already, this experience might be different for you. But the standard school day looks something like this. You wake up bright and early, 6 a.m. in the morning. You look over your shoulder at the pile of homework that you tried to study last night for your science test. But you know it doesn't matter. You're gonna fail anyways. So after you get on that rickety school bus with its bleached yellow paint, you head to class. Then you arrive at school. Then, boom, 8 a.m. bell rings, and you head to science class. Right as you come in and sit down, you see all of the social groups. You have the nerdy kids who know they're gonna pass the exam. Then you have the lunch detention champions who are borderline screaming at each other. And then finally, who could forget the popular ones? They're at their own table. They don't care what the teacher says. They have F's in every class, talking about how they're gonna party after school. Basically nonsense. Then snap. 10 a.m. bell rings, and you go to break. Right as you arrive, while your friends hang out, it feels like it's only been 5 seconds, but then, bang, the bell, the bell rings, and you have to go to your next class. In this class you hate the most, social studies. Not because of the teacher or the subject, purely because of all the people that are in the class. As you're minding your own business, working on your ancient cities map, one of the popular kids comes up to you and asks with the dumbest question. He asks, "Where is Sparta?" looking at his map blankly. You know that if he put in 10 seconds of effort, he would have found it. Then the lunch bell. You get some more time to talk to your friends, but ultimately it's short-lived. Then the final period bell rings. Your final period is math, which is one of the only subjects you actually enjoy. But this enjoyment is diminished by the fact that you can't do basic division. But today is worse. As the math teacher begins to hand out tests, you know that you ultimately failed. As she hands you your paper, she shakes her head disappointingly. You got a 14 out of 30. Then the final bell rings, and you stumble. Then the final bell rings. School's out. As you stumble into your home, set your backpack down, and stare at the pile of homework that you still haven't completed, you collapse into bed to do it again tomorrow. But what was that 6 hour of pain useful for? That's because your application is going to be denied because you failed a math test. But that's the feeling. Because you know that you need a good degree to get a good job later in life, right? However, even going to Harvard for 4 years, $216,000 in debt, would only get you an entry-level job. When you could have came out of high school, put down some money to own a McDonald's, and you could have been making $150,000 a year. And that's school in a nutshell. You spend 13 years of your life learning useless information and to be pummeled by debt from college to work a mediocre job to try and pay it off, when if you had simply owned a McDonald's, you would have been better off.